So I figured I would come on here and talk to y'all a little bit. Even though it's none of y'all business, I get it. But I realized this morning that I haven't had sex in a year and 4 days to be exact. So it sounds like it's not that big of a deal, but it's huge for me because I'm a very sexual person, as y'all know. But what I've been realizing, what I've been doing these past couple of months is transmuting all of my sexual energy into other things. Um, the last person I had sex with was amazing. It was beautiful. Probably one of the first men that ever made love to me in my 30s. And let me tell you, it's something completely different. I think that when you go on a spiritual journey, they tell you that you got to cut off access to a lot of people. So that was like the first thing that I did. But men that once upon a time I might have been attracted to, like I just wasn't anymore. Like I felt like a lot of them weren't worthy of my body and just like things like that. And last year, right before me and this person had sex, I had I was like 9 months without sex, like right the 6 months before that. So it was like going on 9 months. So at some point I was really just going through something. But I will say this, it's not easy, but I mean, it's not hard either. Um, I just think that people have sex with no intimacy is just to fill a void. And you're just like a dump box for a lot of men. And women have to understand, like, your body is just like your temple. You are either filling up, giving someone energy, or taking it away. And I know, like, in my younger years, I used to just let men just, not every man, I was still kind of particular, but just men that I knew wasn't good for me, predators that would just prey and that just would dump off everything on my body, like just their trauma, just all of that. And I would feel so weak after. And I didn't know why. Well, that's because you take on as the feminine, we receive. So we are receiving everything that this man is going through. Bad day, just everything. And in this journey, I've realized that, well, obviously everything is energy, but sex is a really big deal for a lot of people. A lot of men's love language is physical touch, which makes sense. If their mothers didn't hug or kiss them as kids, like the only way that they may feel like love is physical touch. But what they fail to realize is it's not just that, it's intimacy. And intimacy can't be reached with every woman that a man has sex with. That's just that. I also realized that it took a while for me to realize what intimacy really actually was. You have to have, I personally feel like you got to have intimacy with a person, like, before you can physically have sex. It has to be some sort of emotional connection with that person. And so, replaying years of things, and I'm kind of connecting my pussy to my mind. And I'm realizing the things that make me tick. When your pussy and your mind is separate, same for the men. When y'all thing is separate from your mind and it's not connected, it's easy for you to go fuck on something that you don't like. That's why men be like, it didn't mean nothing. Because it really didn't. And then he may meet a woman that connects his dick to his mind, which means that if this isn't stimulated, then neither is this. And I had to get to that point. Everything was separate. Once I got to that point, I was like, ugh. Like, everything kind of turned me off. To the point I was asking people, like, shit, I'm afraid that I may be turning, like, asexual or something, because men that could once do it for me, like, they weren't doing it for me anymore. Like, I could just look at them and just be like, like, I'm good. I'll just, like, withhold. And it was a lot. It was a lot. But I just realized kind of this whole time in my life, it's just intimacy that I craved. And not every man was worthy to give it. And now it's even worse because I've, went 1 year without sex, and I just realized that it's just not worth it. That 30-second nut or whatever that shit is ain't worth it. Y'all may think that it is, but it ain't. It ain't worth that shit at all. You know, a lot of times if you're weak or you just feel tired and all of that, like that's them. That's they fucking evil ass energy. You should never be with a partner where you feel like they took from you. You should be pouring into each other's cups. And, you know, that's really the main issue. But I wanted to come on here to like toot my own horn about that because I've been realizing a lot of people, you know, I've been talking about it. Y'all know I've been on my journey for a minute. And I'm going to start, you know, dipping deeper into some more things. But specifically with this, a lot of people have been messaging me saying like they've been on their journeys too. Like they haven't had sex. They, you know, staying without sex, like, or like all of that, like motherfuckers just not fucking, like it's not worth the energy drain. And so because the veil is so thin, like everybody is seeing things in a completely different light, you know, and I'm a prime example of it. But I say this to say, stay on y'all journey, you know, have a goal in mind. I manifested a lot this year, like, and I'll talk and go into depth. But, you know, this year I retired, I got a house. I've also had some other challenges. And I do feel like that was a sacrifice I had to, you know, make. Me kind of withholding from sex kind of helped me to be able to manifest a lot of things. All of my gifts started enhancing times 10. Like I was having more vivid dreams. I was more energy sensitive. It was like I would say something and then it would come true like that. Like everything I wanted would come, like it, and it's still happening. So if you are on your journey, stay on it until the person is worthy, until that person connects this to this. Stay on it because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And, you know, people also have to realize that, you know, sex is, it's a damn ritual. People don't get it. You light candles, you saying shit, you're manifesting. That's what that is. That's power. That's power. If that man been struggling with demons and he fighting his demons and you let him in you, baby, them demons coming on to you. And you're realizing that's what they call a soul tie. So I've had multiple of those before. They're not fun at all. Y'all saw me at my lowest. That was the soul tie I had to break. They're not beautiful. So I'll go more into depth about that. But I really wanted to toot my own horn today because I really just did not realize that I had not had sex in a year, because the person that I actually had sex with last year texted me last night. And I fell asleep. But I was like, damn, I ain't had sex in like over a year. Like, you were the last person I had sex with. And it wasn't bad. I didn't feel weak. That was probably the first person I had sex with where I felt like I was recharged. I wasn't just being used. I felt like somebody actually cared about my body, but it was it's probably funny. And if you saw this, then yes, I've had, thank you for my recharge. But yes, I'm sending love and light to all of y'all on y'all journeys. Don't let them lustful spirits and demons rest on y'all. Go into the new year happy and proud, man. Happy and proud. Happy, proud, manifesting everything. I wish nothing but light and love in real life. I don't just talk that shit, I walk that shit. So a lot of people talk that shit but don't walk that shit. I do both. So again, love, blessings, peace, all of that to y'all. Happy healing. Expect more from me. I'm about to go run some errands, but I did want to share this with y'all before I get out in these streets, okay? So blessings.